First, though, is putting your child on a strict vegan diet tantamount to abuse? An Italian couple from Milan have just lost custody of their 14-month-old son after his strict vegan diet reportedly left him severely malnourished. The child was taken to a hospital by grandparents a week ago and after finding him to be underweight, the same weight as a 3-month-old, in fact, and in general poor health, authorities took him into care. Now, veganism is a lifestyle that excludes all animal products and byproducts, so there's no meat, no fish, no milk, no eggs, no honey, and no leather, fur, silk or wool. And it's growing in popularity. The number of vegans in Britain is up by a staggering 360% in a decade, 542,000 in total. It's usually an ethical choice, and some choose it for their children to follow too. But given its restrictive nature, can it provide the nutrients that children need to develop? Well, experts say it's more difficult to nourish a young child adequately on a restrictive diet, especially as they often have to eat more to get the same energy values. Some can end up deficient in vitamin D, calcium and iron. Unsurprisingly, those at the Vegan Society would disagree. They say research shows vegans are generally healthier than those on an animal-based diet as they're more clued up about nutrition. And joining us now is Jimmy Pearson, who is a spokesperson for the Vegan Society. Thank you very much for joining us, Jimmy. And how long have you been a vegan?
I've been vegan for 2 years now, and I must admit, it's the best decision I ever made.
Why did you decide to?
Well, I went vegan initially because I wanted to improve my health. And I very quickly noticed a string of benefits. I was sleeping better, I had clearer skin, my digestion was much improved, and I had a lot more energy. That was the main thing I noticed. I went from someone who didn't enjoy running at all to loving long-distance running. It was fantastic. And all the evidence also suggests that the vegan diet is really effective in protecting against lots of long-term chronic health conditions. So I'm sure the benefits will continue throughout my life. But it's not just about health for me. The more I looked into the meat industry and the dairy industry, the more the standard practices shocked me. So now I would say I was mainly vegan for the animals.
And I would like to know, I mean, it's all very well you being an adult doing this, but do you have children?
Yeah.
And are they vegan?
Yes, I do. We do.
How old are your children?
My partner Laura and I had our first child, our daughter Sarah, only 3 months ago. So she's exclusively breastfeeding still, and I think we'll start weaning at about 6 months. Laura will continue to breastfeed.
And then what are you going to put if the child doesn't have milk or even goat's milk? I mean, I think goat's milk is quite a good option. But what will, after she's finished breastfeeding, what will you give your child?
Well, we will of course be raising a vegan on the basis that we think, based on our experience, how we feel, and all the evidence and research in front of us, that it will give her the best possible start in life. Well, as soon as she's old enough to start eating, she'll be eating all the fantastic wide variety of vegan foods that we eat.
Straight to food?
Laura will continue breastfeeding for as long as she can, up to 2 years, which I think is the World Health Organisation's recommendation, particularly for people on vegan.
Do you think people are going to judge you for that stand?
Well, they haven't done so far. I'd say not at all, actually.
Well, you're on national TV now, so
public perception is changing fast, and old stereotypes are fading slowly but surely. And most people nowadays, rather than asking me where I get my protein from, they're asking me for recipe ideas, which is fantastic. And throughout Laura, my partner, being pregnant and Sarah being born, we had unqualified support from the medical profession. Now, that's not the experience that all vegans get, but it was for us, whether it's GPs, midwives, health visitors. They were all completely behind us, and I think that's an indication that the tide's turning and that people are much more accepting of veganism. But there's a point I'd really like to make here, actually, and that's the media's portrayal of this case, which I think has been particularly misleading. You know, there are, on average, 5,000 cases of malnutrition in the UK alone every year, yet the media has decided to highlight a single instance with a vegan family in Italy. Now, in terms of malnutrition, the problem in this case, and with every case, is a shortage of calories and nutrients. It's nothing inherently to do with the vegan diet, which contains everything you need for great health at every age and life stage, including childhood and infancy. And that's the position of the British Dietetic Association, who are widely regarded as the leading authority on matters like this in this country.
I think you put your case obviously very well, as one would expect. I'm just interested that you've been a vegan for 2 years. So before that, come on, didn't you like a pint and crisps and a steak? Come on.
Admittedly, I was a big meat eater, and if someone told me I'd be vegan
Right.
a number of years ago, I would not have believed
So
it. I used to work in KFC.
So, oh my gosh, even I don't do chicken in a drumstick, or whatever, in a basket, sorry. But what's interesting, so you've done this for 2 years, and that's wonderful, I totally applaud everything you've said. What would you do if your child says, right, Dad, I want a steak and I want it now?
Well, of course, those kind of choices about her diet are entirely hers, and as they will be throughout her life and all different things. Laura and I, my partner, will support her however she chooses to live her life, and with whoever.
She can't answer back, she gets the lentils.
But we will, of course, try our best to ensure that those choices are informed choices, and we'll explain where food comes from, how the animals are treated, and importantly, the impact that has on animals and our health, but also the environment.
Jimmy, we've got a lot of calls, haven't we, Storm?
Absolutely. We've got Ange on line 4.
Hello, good morning, Ange.
Hello.
Good morning. Would you like to address your question straight to Jimmy?
Well, I mean, my question is that I stopped eating red meat and I became really, really ill and I had to be hospitalised twice and have blood transfusions. I nearly died. I think what you're doing is really irresponsible, actually. I think what people need to understand, it's not really a question, but the body, our biology is animal biology. We can take in iron from animals better than iron from vegetables, and I do think it's a subtle form, in my opinion, of abuse, and I don't know whether you considered the facts properly, because you probably weren't brought up as a vegan from birth, were you?
No, I was a meat eater all my life. I ate meat throughout, and speaking from my experience, I felt significantly better once I removed animal products from my diet. And to call it irresponsible, I would have to disagree with that. It's not a restrictive diet. It contains everything you need for great health. But I suppose the problems come from a lack of educational knowledge or information about it. But there are huge amounts of resources online. It's never been easier to be vegan than it is now. So I'm sorry that you had a negative experience, but that's not the general experience. And if you were willing to give it a try again, there's lots of support, which perhaps there wasn't years ago.
Jimmy, actually, I just want to come back to that point about bringing up a child as a vegan. And part of the problem seems to be about the calories, actually getting the calories large enough with a vegan diet.
Well, that is something that's been raised, and it's a point. I can't dispute that. Children, of course, have smaller stomachs, but the recommendation about breastfeeding for as long as you can goes some way to alleviating that, and eating little and often is another good way to do it.
Because it's part of the problem is a vegan diet has a lot of fibre in it, which of course means that you need to get even more calories.
Absolutely. But also there's a misconception that things like calcium come exclusively from dairy products, but actually, if you look at green leafy veg, almonds, tofu, spinach, for example, they've got also much higher rates of absorption than dairy products.
Storm.
Bob on line 3.
Hello, Bob.
Hi.
Hi there. What's your point?
Yeah, I agree with the guy of the Vegan Society. I've got 3 kids myself, and up to 2.5 years ago, for 30 years, I ate meat, dairy and eggs, and I had no reason to change, but we came across some information about the ethics, the health, and the environmental aspects, and we were, as responsible parents, we did our research. We put the time in to find out if this was something applicable and that if our kids especially could, thrive on it, and they've done even better. I think that's what the difference is, and maybe these parents, if they have dived into this with their child without really doing their research and they haven't really fed him, and that's where the problem lies. But like the man from the Vegan Society said, all the information is out there, and we even consulted a nutritional therapist who gave us some more information, and since then I've had a knee problem of 14 years that disappeared, my kids' acne completely cleared up, and we've never been healthier, really.
And that's what Jimmy was saying. Bob, thank you very much for giving us a ring. Storm.
We've got Fiona on line 1.
Hello, Fiona.
Hi there.
Hi there. Good morning. What's your point?
I think that, I agree with Jimmy that there's a lack of understanding around what veganism actually is. Because being plant-based as a diet, being vegan is more about a wider understanding of the world and setting a moral baseline that you kind of stem your values from. If you explain to a child from a young age how the choices they make impact the wider world, and you're raising a compassionate human being, I can only see how that's a benefit to society and to them long term.
Yeah. Okay, Fiona, thank you very much. And am I right, Joan, thinking you're a vegetarian, aren't you?
I'll eat fish.
You eat fish, so you're
And
pescatarian.
occasionally a bit of chicken, but only if it's organic.
So you're all about the organic
I'm all
and,
about
and,
organic,
sustainable
eating clean.
farming.
Yeah.
And
I say you also rarely see a very, very fat vegan. There tend to be the pictures of, I'd say, the vegans that I know tend to be very healthy-looking people.
I want to be a vegan now. Just let me be a vegan if I can look like him, because he looks very lean.
Yeah, lean and healthy.
Yeah.
Storm.
Aaron on line 2.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello, yes. I was about to say, I find it astonishing that people equate veganism to extremism. I would just like to ask people, what's more extreme, eating a plant-based diet, a plant-based vegan diet, and reducing and reversing your chances of getting heart disease, cancer, diabetes, or slaughtering 259 million animals daily on a global scale?
Yeah. I suppose we come back to that point that Jimmy made a bit earlier about there is malnutrition with people on what could call a normal diet. So it's actually it's more about, on this particular instance, about the parents perhaps not knowing quite so much. Aaron, thank you very much. And I suppose that's what you'd say, Jimmy. It doesn't feel extreme to you. You just think it's just all about food. And Emma, you're a vegan, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm vegan. I think it's the best decision I ever made. I've never felt healthier than when I started being vegan. I feel great. So
and how long have you been a vegan?
I've been a vegan for about 1.5 years now. So and I feel absolutely great. And I stand by everything that Jimmy said. So yeah, it's great. It's not an extreme diet.
Yeah, although perhaps a little more difficult when you're eating out with friends.
Oh, actually, it's got easier and easier. Like, most restaurants now do offer a vegan option, and I don't find it difficult at all. I think it's fine.
Okay, thank you
Love
very
it.
much, Emma, and thank you very much to Jimmy. And yeah, so really genuinely, Helen, would you?
Well, can you? I know I'm not being frivolous, but can you have vegan wine? You can.
You can, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
So what? So grapes,
without-
fermenting's okay, and I think that's what
And
happens
some of
with
them
wine.
and some of them are cleared, aren't they, with animal products?
What was the
Okay,
problem with,
Well,
what was
some
the
of them
problem
have
with wine
With
previously?
wine, sometimes you use egg to wash the
Yeah,
Egg white.
egg
yeah.
white
White, okay.
in the product. But
Anyway,
Oh well, so
there you go.
I'm leaning.
Having a think. Thank you very much, and thank you, Jimmy, and thank you to all of you for calling. Coming up after the ads, is it acceptable to tell someone, friend?
Bloody hell, that was positive, wasn't it? Bloody hell, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a big backlash. That was really positive. Wow, thumbs up there. The guy, thank God that guy was intelligent, knew what he was talking about. Brilliant, that was a brilliant, brilliant interview, brilliant debate. It went the vegan way. God, that was just, I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't expecting that.